Please reel us next movie. I beg you for a part 2. Please and thank you for your hard work. Can we get the next part? Can you please do movie 2?
Still
Please
waiting
nice.
for part 2.
What if Goku I continue this story. I really like the plot and how Goku and Saitama became friends first before fighting, unlike in other fanfics where they instantly fight as soon as they meet. Keep up the good work. Unfortunately, there is a highly likely chance he will not continue this. Because this is a fanfic made by someone else, unless the person that made the fanfic continues his story, it will be forever stuck on chapter 2. And fanfic channels like him don't really know how to make a fanfic themselves, plus they're probably lazy to do so. If he wants to prove me wrong, then go right ahead. But I doubt he will make a continuation that's as good as this and will probably be short.
Challenge accepted.
Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today, after a long wait, I will finally be doing What If Goku Was in One Punch Man Movie 2. 100 years have passed since the Tournament of Power, and Goku has encountered many heroes such as Silver Fangs, Terrible Tornado, and Cape Baldy. But what would happen when gods decide to enter the lives of humanity? What kind of adventures will our Saiyan have? If you like this video and want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe to see more incredible content such as this. With that out of the way, let's begin this What If. Saitama groaned. He never thought that Goku's training would be this boring. I mean, for the love of some drama, Goku was on and on about strengthening the mind in order to properly control the energy inside. It's been about a few days since they started their training and almost everyone was getting a hand into it, of course, except the Cape Baldy himself. He would always end up sleeping during their meditation time, which would cause Tatsumaki to smack Saitama upside the head, and for Genos to start an argument with the psychic green head girl. She would then retort back with a nasty threat involving a giant stone made spoon up his. Let's just leave it there. As they left the grocery store and made their way to Saitama's apartment, Genos asked,
Master, where should we go next?
Let's see. We got the hot pot ingredients, so I guess that leaves the toilet paper and shampoo.
Genos stopped in his tracks and turned to his master, noticing him standing in front of a store's window displaying well-known heroes as action figures. A particular action figure held the most interest to Saitama, which coincidentally was the action figure of the strongest man, King.
Wow, I guess popularity gets you places. His own action figure. Must be awesome.
To many, they would see Saitama's behavior as uncaring or nonchalant. But those who could see through him, they could see the slight depression radiating off of him. Genos, being one of them, quickly began dialing the toy company.
I will contact the toy companies.
Saitama quickly waved off Genos, saying that the situation was one of those "don't call us, we'll call you" situation. Although Saitama wore his usual emotionless persona on the outside, inside, he was a little touched by his so-called student's quick speed in defending his dignity.
Let's roll.
Genos wanted to argue back, but decided to let go of the matter.
Right, but Master, where exactly are we going?
Somewhere in the city. A crowd was gasping as a woman was screaming fearfully at the figure before her. An elderly man from the crowd yelled, "What the hell is that?" Chuckles could be heard as the monster revealed himself to be a man with reptile features with an extremely long tongue, a creepy look on his face as he spoke how he was so obsessed with reptiles, he ended up turning into one. The reptile-looking man then took an odd pose. "Feast your eyes upon the great tongue stretcher," he yelled out, giving out a unique name for people to remember. The people were shaken by the monster's appearance. The same woman from before began whimpering upon seeing the hideous creature before her. "It's a monster. Run!" A man yelled out, and with that, everyone followed the man's lead and ran. The lizard man gave a creepy look at the crowd and yelled out, "All you pretty things are mine now." With that declaration, he launched his tongue out towards the nearest woman to him. "You're gonna bear my brood." However, before his tongue could reach the young lady, a tall, lean man with light tan skin, blue eyes, and shoulder-length, slicked back blonde hair combed down to the nape of his neck stood in between the monster and civilian. He has a long face with sunken cheeks and a well-defined jawline. His most notable physical feature being the set of 3 vertical scars over his left eye. He wore a blue jacket with a black turtleneck shirt and brown cargo pants. "Where the hell did you come from?" the half-lizard, half-man said, stun evident in his voice. He got no response back as the whole area was silent by a loud thumping sound. A slight chill crawled up his spine as an ominous aura brought fear in the monster's being. "Whoa! What's that aura?" he said, a sweat dripping from his left temple. Said man gave the lizard man the most piercing blue eyes, staring deeply into his soul, terrifying him with unimaginable fear. "And that face? He's no ordinary man," he thought as an image of a giant shadowy figure stared down at him like a god bringing judgment upon his being. The crowd began to cheer once they realized who had stopped the monster from attacking the innocent woman. "That hero's supposed to be the strongest man on earth," a man with short hair pointed out, hope evident on all their faces. "He'll save us for sure. It's King." Realization dawned upon the half-sentient being. No wonder he looks familiar. He gulped. "He's a living legend. He'll take you out with one punch." A civilian yelled out, "Can I have your autograph?" Another spoke out, "King! King!" The people then gave a chorus of cheers for the hero now identified as the strongest man, King. Although everyone was in loud cheers, King said nothing, preferring to just get this over with. The monster took a few fearful steps back, fearing that in any moment now, the strongest hero would jump towards him and give him a beating of a lifetime. King only continued to stare at him, the cold daggers piercing his opponent's confidence. Faster than a blink of eyes, the monster quickly fell on his knees and asked for forgiveness. The sudden end of the lizard man brought out an even louder cheer, with the females in the crowd calling him a gross pervert. "Teach him a lesson, King." A civilian called out, "That's right. Get on your knees and apologize." The people began to surround the king, asking for autographs, pictures taking, or just a simple handshake from the strong man. A man from the crowd stood before King and asked, "Are you here because you sensed the monster's presence, King?"
"No, I was just out shopping and I happened..."
"Hey, hold up. Who are you to question King?" A man interrupted, accusing the other man of questioning the hero. King waved it off saying it was nothing, but the man refused, saying that it wasn't right for someone to ask such a question to a great hero. King wasn't sure about that, but decided to just go on with his day. Just before King could make a move, a civilian stuck out his arm, asking him for a handshake. The request was an odd one, but King brushed his hat and told him that he had things to do. The crowd dispersed, making a pathway for the blonde hero to walk through. King sighed as soon as he was at a distance away from the people and quickened his pace to his desired destination. Video game store Pazulu. The store where gamers, such as myself, could play the most exclusive games ever known on the internet. Leaving the store, King left with a bag containing a recently released game, Heartbeat Hottie Sisters 2 Limited Edition. He smiled, content on walking peacefully home to play his new game with no disruption. Unbeknown to the S-rank hero, Saitama and Genos spotted the hero, still looking at the general direction where King was heading towards. Genos commented to his master that the man walking down the street was indeed the strongest hero, King.
Who? He's one of the heroes from the Class S meeting. His name is King. He's a hero who managed to outrank you quickly, Master, and claimed the title of strongest hero.
Huh. Do you think he's stronger than Goku?
I don't know, Master, but it is strange. I wonder what brings him to this part of town.
Just then, a loud scream could be heard, catching the attention of the trio. "It's a monster!" a woman cried out. Genos straightens himself, while Saitama grunts at the now announced danger. King stood passively, no sort of emotions leaving his features.
Another monster. Master, we should... No, wait. This might be a good opportunity to observe King's capabilities. We shall see what he does.
The blonde man looked up at the giant robot, armor placed everywhere around the robot's figure. As King looked on fearless, "My moniker is G4, the robot began, a machine god created by the organization." The giant mechanized robot began scanning King with a red screen, clearly trying to absorb as much information as possible before deciding any further action. "You are Class S hero King. Prepared to be liquidated."
"Oh shit. I just want to go home and play my game.
Just before King could make any cowarding move, something happened that made King pale a bit. Look! Over there! King'll save up! A civilian called out, bringing the attention of the other civilians to turn back and notice King in front of the giant robot.
Well, there goes plan A.
King then tried to think of a new action, before it just suddenly clicked him.
You seem to know my rank and hero class, yet you still choose to face the man who's ranked 7th?
The robot, seeing this as a declaration of a challenge, quickly drew out his massive sword and pointed it to King, merely reaching a few inches in front of the hero. Killing you is the reason I've come. The sudden burst of air from his giant sword blew King's hat away, leaving for the whole world to see King's blue piercing eyes. After a few tense seconds, a loud thumping could be heard, confusing many people as to where the sound was coming from. What the heck is that sound? A man asked another beside him. The person he was talking to then gave him a strange look. You don't know about the King engine? It's the sound you hear when King goes into battle. They say there's not a single monster who's heard it and survived. As the two continued to look directly into each other's eyes, G4 spoke, our battle will serve as a live test of my combat AI systems. To collect accurate data, I expect your full strength.
So this is a robot? And built by the organization? What's he talking about? Very well, but I'm gonna have to drop a deuce first. When I have to hold it in, I can only exert 50% of my power, and that would throw off your data, wouldn't it?
I will wait 10 minutes. G4 said without losing a beat. For every minute beyond that, 10 humans will die. Understood? The people began to gasp in fear at the giant metal man's threat. Before anything else could be said or done, a familiar spiked hair man with a monkey's tail appeared out of thin air, looking around frantically. He then spotted our Cape Baldy and waved towards him.
Hey Saitama, what's up?
Saitama waved back casually, as if the demon-level threat robot wasn't there to begin with.
I'm doing okay. Just watching to see what King would do with that giant robot over there.
Oh, this big guy. This looks like fun. I hope I can get a turn.
King stood motionless, contemplating his next move of action before slowly turning to Goku and nodded towards him.
You can take him. I don't think I can take him on.
And with that, the S-Class hero left the scene without a word to spare. G4 just stood where he was, mentally dumbfounded by the audacity of the so-called strongest hero to just up and let another hero do his bidding. You insolent human! It lifted and swung his blade to behead the S-Class hero, but was stopped when the spiky-haired man held the tip of the sword with his pinky. The robot stood shocked by the development and tried to pull his sword back, but was proven to be in vain.
Hey there, you shouldn't be swinging this sword around like that. You can seriously hurt someone with this thing.
Goku said, treating the demon threat robot like it was no better than a child. Why you? It pulled its other arm back and delivered a strong punch to the Saiyan. A loud thud was heard, as people stopped where they were to see if the man with spiky hair was defeated. When the robot retruded its arm back, it mentally widened its eyes. The man whom it put about 70% of its strength onto held no effect towards him. Based on his quick findings, this man held ominous strength and durability. Not to mention he was too fast for his scanner to detect him. The next thing it knew, darkness filled the screen. The people gave cheer to Goku, who was still holding his leg out in a kicking position up in the air. A few meters away lay the head of the mechanized robot, small sparkles coming out of a few cables still charged with electrons. Goku smiled towards the people with his cheek grin before vanishing and appearing in front of Saitama and Genos.
Wow, Goku-san, that was an amazing feat you pulled off there.
Oh, it was nothing.
He then opened his eyes and asked,
Are you guys going to be ready for our training session at 5?
Goku, no offense, but meditation isn't what I call a training session.
Nah, today we're not meditating. Today we're going to spar a bit.
With that, Saitama quickly straightened himself and gave back his own challenging grin.
Bring it.
They stood like that for a few seconds before Goku loosened up with his usual grin.
Alright, I'll see you guys later. Tatsu-chan said that she wanted me to go on this thing called a date. I just hope it's food and not another marriage proposal.
With that, Goku instantly motioned himself away. Genos seemed a bit confused by Goku's statement, while Saitama paid no mind to what the Saiyan said and walked home with a bit of a skip in his step. So, what do you guys think? This is the first of many parts in the series. Now for this to go on any further, I must inform you that due to some complication in timing, I would have to divide them by about 6 to 7 parts. The reason for this division is because, to be honest, the story is not completed and will take time to finish. If I were to give you a guess on how many parts I've complete, I'd say about 3 parts. Though I would need time to plan out the other 4 parts. During this time, if you have a suggestion and something constructive for the upcoming videos, please do inform me. With that out of the way, I hope to see you in the next video, or maybe in the comments section. Peace.